Welcome to the big picture, Nagaland Elections 2018. Policy matters and open interaction with the political parties in Nagaland. It's great to see you all. We are very encouraged by your participation. My name is Along Longkama. I am from the nagarepublic.com. Thank you for having me here this morning. I will be one of the moderators for today's event. I would like to acknowledge Heritage Publishing House and the Morung Express, the other partners for today's event. Thank you, Heritage and Morung, for your solidarity. Okay, without wasting any more time, I would like to introduce the panelists from the 5 political parties into the stage. In alphabetical order, I would like to first call upon the panelists from the BJP, a party veteran and loyalist, an organizational man who is deeply committed to his party. It is my privilege to introduce the Nagaland State General Secretary of the BJP, Jan Shillong Gonmai. I wanted to maybe schedule my program in the next few days that Mr. Modi may come to Nagaland. Can you give us an update whether the Prime Minister is coming to Nagaland and when?
Yeah, as of now, of course, these VIP visits and itinerary are normally changed at the last minute. As of now, he's coming to Tuensang on 22nd.
22nd of,
yeah, 22nd of February.
So that is confirmed, right?
Yes, confirmed.
Okay.
And then on the 23rd, Amit Shah will be coming to Waka.
Okay. So for the media people, I think that is online news, maybe a small news tomorrow morning. 22nd February, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming to Tuensang, and that is confirmed. Okay, next, from the Indian National Congress. Another hardcore loyalist for his party, he has remained unshakable despite the political winds of change. Ladies and gentlemen, a long-time spokesperson of the party, the General Secretary of the Nagaland Pradesh Congress Committee, the rock-steady Captain V.K. Zimobi. When is the INC President Rahul Gandhi also coming to Nagaland?
It's the same question on expected lines. As of now, we have not made it final. It's just tentatively scheduled, but no final thing as of now.
Is he coming or?
Not yet finalized.
So that is not confirmed, guys. Okay. Next, we will introduce the panelists representing the Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party. This person is a new entrant to state politics, but he is a seasoned youth leader in his own right. A former speaker and also president of the Naga Students Federation, now the youth president of the NDPP, ladies and gentlemen, Keloniso Yome. transition from being a student leader to now full-time politician? Has it been easy?
It's a new experience coming from the background of the student activists and the youth. Entering into the new political field, I think it's a great challenge for the young people, especially for the youth, that we have all seen that the Naga people are running in witch affairs. Therefore, it's a challenge for the youth, which I have also decided myself to come to the political field, to bring new changes and also to lead the young people and giving hope to the youth and the students.
Okay, thank you. I think that is very encouraging to see many young people entering the political fray. Okay, from the Naga People's Front, spokesperson of the NPF, he is also a candidate for the 40 Bandari Assembly constituency. Size doesn't matter for this man. He is known for his firepower and he can put even someone like an Arnab Goswami to shame. Ladies and gentlemen, a rising star of the NPF, Achempemo Kikon. Hi, Chembemo. After a very long time, I think you look the same, just the hairstyle. During his NSF days, by the way, he was also the president of the NSF. During his NSF days, he used to have like Bruce Lee type of hairstyle. But now it's all gelled up. So, is that an effect of politics?
In politics, styles also matters, no? So we have to improve our hairstyle, our skin, so on, and even our dressing. So it has a little effect, no doubt.
Anyway, thanks. Great to see you. Okay, the fifth panelist from the National People's Party, an upcoming youth who has also entered the political arena recently. He was a member of the committee that drafted the NPP's election manifesto for Nagaland. Ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary Administration of the NPP, Samuel Sumi. Hi, Samuel.
Hello. Thanks for having me here.
So how is the prospect of the NPP in Meghalaya? Because Meghalaya is one of the states that you are obviously giving great focus and there's great expectation. So how is the position of the NPP?
At the moment, the NPP is riding the wave in Meghalaya. We were expecting to be the single largest party, and we are taking encouragement from there as well, as far as the Nagaland Assembly elections are also concerned. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, in show of appreciation, because these people are very, very busy and they have taken the time to be here with us. So as a show of appreciation, can we all get up and give them a big round of applause? Thank you. You may be seated. A few hundred years ago, a very renowned political scientist, also a very successful politician, he remarked that politics is the art of the possible. And I agree. It is through politics, I believe, politics is the best means there is to bring about the change that we want. During a recent lecture organized by the Morung Express, the speaker mentioned that in the context of Nagaland, the term politics is highly misunderstood. It is tainted and it is corrupted. It's true that with all the corruption, misgovernance, the abuse of power, many of us do not have a positive and good impression about politics in Nagaland. But we are also made to understand that politics is not just about elections, the struggle for power. It's not just about making money. On the contrary, politics is about governance, the affairs of the state, citizens' participation, their right to know through discussions like the one we're going to have today. Politics is also about public policy. And definitely it's also about public service. Nelson Mandela, whom we all admire as a leader and statesman, was devoted to politics for a good cause. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the pessimism that we have around us, I believe we have all come here because we want to uplift the standard of our public discourse. And with an important election coming, to really bring to the center stage the issues that matter, the policies that matter for us. Someone said that democracy is not possible if we are not prepared to discuss, to listen, and to hear the other side. And I believe there is no better setting than today, this open interaction that we are having between the political parties who will govern the state if they are elected to power, and the people. And I hope that through such processes, through such platforms, through our honest conversations and the meeting of our minds, we will be able to improve in the years to come the quality of our politics and democracy. And so, thank you all once again for your presence and participation. I have just been given a note by my producer to read out. This is related to the ECI guidelines. So this is for the benefit of the panelists as well as the participants. So I'll just read out the 4 points that they have mentioned. First, the meeting shall be held within the specified time and venue. So we have taken permission from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, so we will keep that in mind. Second, all items like banners, pamphlets, etc., used for publicity of the program shall be removed after the program by the organizers. Third, all kinds of intoxicating materials or items shall be strictly prohibited. Last, no person shall make any inflammatory speech through use of loud speakers or otherwise which may hurt the sentiments of any community. So that is the ECI guidelines that we have been instructed to inform the participants. We also have a short list of guidelines that was framed by the organizers. I'd just like to read them out for the benefit of the audience. All speakers should follow the time allotted for each segment. There shall be no personal attacks on other speakers, whether on the panel or those who are not there to speak for themselves. Third, this platform should not be used to campaign or canvass for any party or a candidate of any party. Fourth, the event will be video recorded and the organizers will maintain rights to the official footage made on this occasion. So that is the guidelines for the panelists. Last but not least, before we go directly to the question, I would like to introduce a very important person, timekeeper. Timekeeper for today's open interaction is Rencano Hamsoi. Please get up once. Rencano, she's an assistant editor at the Morung Express. Give her a big hand. Okay, for this round of questions, each panelist will be given 3 minutes time to respond to my question. The timekeeper will give a warning bell after 2 minutes, 30 seconds, just to give you that indication that your time is about to get concluded. So I would like to start from the BJP. First question for the BJP. You may sit and you may answer the question. Your party is receiving a lot of attention in the time leading up to the upcoming elections. One aspect has to do with the broad and popular appeal of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. However, there are also genuine, deeper public concerns. One of them is the philosophy of Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan, which seems to be at the core of BJP's policy making. Some examples include that we have experienced Christmas being converted into Good Governance Day, Hindi being pushed as a compulsory language, and so on. How do you therefore explain this policy to the voters of Nagaland who want a future of diversity, respect, and equality?
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Since the time is very limited, I cannot explain in detail. But one thing I can assure, that the BJP is really a secular political party. Of course, it has been mentioned, the Prime Minister's Narendra Modi's wave is very far, it is going very far and wide, beyond the national borders now, even in the international thing. And certainly everyone is coming to the BJP fold because of its influence. But of course, as I said, there's a lot of doubt and skepticism about the party's Hindutva policies. Regarding this, I'll say most of the party's people's doubts and skepticism, especially in the Northeast now, regarding cow slaughter, regarding Hindutva, regarding this Christmas, no, it's all unwarranted. Because these days, many people, they just look at the social media gossips and then they think it's for real. Most of the photos posted on the social media about church burning, this, that. Of course, since I'm in the media in just for very long, I've verified all those photos, and I found that most of it are outdated and of foreign countries and all like that. But in social media, no one bothers to question it, no one tries to verify it. That's why they just go on believing what they want. And then the doubts about the party builds up. Yesterday, Defense Minister was there, we interacted with her, we talked about this thing regarding secularism clarification. She said, regarding this, scholarships for theologian colleges which was closed now. Regarding this, what is said? See, the main problem of the country here, and even in Northeast, is when people see things, hear things, and read things on social media, they don't bother to verify. They don't ask. So she said, you just verify whether it's true or not, then tell us. Because from the center, we don't just classify scholarships to this and that, for this and that. They don't classify. That's from the tribal ministry, they just pass the order to issue this travel scholarships to everyone. So it's like that. So mostly regarding these doubts and fears about the BJP, skepticism about the BJP's Hindutva and all, it all comes from the unquestioning mind of the people. People don't use logic. Most of the Indian citizens go for emotion and all. That's where the mistake lies. For BJP, because even regarding this celebration of Christmas, actually, it is the birthday of our very distinct former Prime Minister. And that's why, because of that, since a very statesman Prime Minister, he was this thing. In his name, it was given a good governance day. But it's not compulsory that we should celebrate on that day. We celebrate, we party also, we observe, and everyone observes a good governance day, any working day before or after Christmas. That's the thing. So the main thing I want to sum up is that it's all because of this thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. No interjection as much as possible by the moderator, so the participants will, I'm sure, be prepared to ask counter questions, so we will come later to that. I'll go straight to the Congress. Please focus on the question, not on the response of the previous question. Congress, your party has been out of power in Nagaland for 15 years. It was expected that the Congress would utilize the strong anti-incumbency against the outgoing government. Instead, your party has put up a defeatist front, even failing to put up enough candidates to contest the upcoming elections. In 15 years, the party has been unable to put its grassroots organization in place and not found a strong leader. Instead of focusing on core issues, the Congress has been comfortably reactive without showing any alternatives. Can you share more about why this approach is being used? Convince us why people should cast their vote for your party. Captain Zimomi.
Okay, that's a very dicey question. Anyway, for the benefit of the audience, since 1982, Congress was in power till 2003. Today, all the leaders in the NPF or the NDPP or whichever party you call it, just bearing some few, are all Congress products. They are the ones who defected, and they are the ones ruling. So what happened in the meantime, in 15 years, is we are evolving. We have already shed those leaders. Those leaders are all 60 plus, all 70 plus, with due respect to age and with due respect to all the senior citizens. Now coming to in between this 15 years, we have trying to evolve, but it is shocking about the majority of our people. I'm not telling about the ones seated here. I'm sure you all are very concerned, very much aware of what is happening. But for the majority of our people, today, the NPF is in the government for the last 15 years. The same set of leaders thinking that anti-incumbency will be the disadvantage, have formed another party. And we Nagas are making a beeline. So for all the social media warriors, Facebook warriors who've been abusing us, spare a thought to question these very people who are taking us for a ride. And as far as Congress is concerned, I'm telling you, Congress is an idea that gave India its independence. As long as we Nagas remain with India, and as long as India remains as a nation, this idea will survive and we will definitely come back, because this is an inclusive idea based on secularism, based on pluralism. We Nagas, as minorities, as tribals, there is no better ideology than Congress to give us an identity. Our Congress, we are not the party to say what to eat, what to wear, what to say. We give freedom of expression, we give freedom of speech. But today the situation is different. That is why, of course, I admit we are down, but we are not out. And we are not putting a defeatist front. It is more of evolving, definitely with younger leaders and then well-informed youngsters and people who are literally concerned about the state of affairs will be joining hands, and definitely a time will come in the not so distant future that will be a force reckoner in the state of Nagaland. And as far as the country situation is concerned, things are already reversing. The people who were taken aback by the people who were influenced by so much of rhetorics are not the first to get disgruntled. So as the saying goes, the bigger the hope, the bigger the disappointment. We are trying our best, and as long as our Congress is there in Nagaland, we are there for our people. We will not allow others to tell us what to do, what not to do, and we will stand by our people. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the next question is for the NDPP. Everyone in Nagaland is eager to know more about your main election slogan for 2018, change is coming. Given that most of your top leaders are either the same old politicians or bureaucrats that have led Nagaland to where we are today, what believable change are you proposing to the people? Is it not old wine in new bottle? Or have your leaders completely transformed by taking on a new name? Can you cite some concrete policies that genuine change is coming? Thank you.
Coming directly to respond to the question, I am totally disagreed about the NDPP leaders that they are all coming from the political background on the bureaucrats. We have a very young, dynamic, upcoming youth who are also joining the party to contest this 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly. Talking about the bureaucrats, yes, they have served in the administrative zone, and they have seen and experienced that the governance system cannot run in this way. To our political leaders, as far as the present Nagaland state is concerned, we don't have a visionary leaders. We don't have a decisive leaders. Therefore, we have chosen a leader who can be decisive, who can be taken a major decision and lead the Nagaland. This is what we have also welcomed the political leaders who are committed and dedicated to the party. Coming back to the change is coming. Yes, I want to put across to the young people that change is coming with the party of NDPP. Our policy is clear that we want to see that the accountability, as far as running the state affairs, we have not seen any point of time that there is an accountability in the state. There is no transparency in the state governance. We have seen that the governance system. Where is the governance system? Therefore, this transparency, accountability, and good governance, this NDPP party will deliver, and this is a policy, aims and objective, a principle of the NDPP party. Therefore, let us all hope. We want to give a hope to the young people, hope to the people of the Nagaland state, that a good governance, transparency, equal gender equality, and also anti-corruption, this policy will come and implemented, and this is, I can assure that the NDPP party will definitely deliver this justice to the Naga people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next, the NPF. A lot of people are debating why they should cast their vote for the NPF that has ruled the state for the last 15 years. 3 terms in office is an extended time. While we understand that lasting social, economic, political changes don't take place overnight, the NPF has had many opportunities and ample time to deliver, but little has moved forward. Therefore, why should people give you another chance? Can you give reasons why they should vote for your party again?
NBF is a party is the only party in Nagaland that represents the sentiments, the rights, and the identity of the Naga people. And therefore, you must vote for NBF, number one. Number two, this party has sacrificed for the Naga cause. One thing which is, if you are asked to answer, is about Naga political issue. And this party, in our local English, in our local language, we call it our national worker as underground. So let us term it in our own English. This is the overground face of the Naga movement, this party. And therefore, you must, if you love the Naga issue, if you support the Naga peace process, you must support and vote for NBF. Number three, this party, the cock symbol, has immensely done for the youth, for the women, for the aged people, and for the downtrodden, or for the citizens, including the minorities in Nagaland. If you have seen the last 15 years, this government has provided a lot of opportunities to the youth, especially to the women. The urban local bodies, the bad experience that we have had in the last year's municipal and town council election, we have empowered the women by giving them 33% of the seats in the urban and local bodies. How the Naga people reacted? The Naga people also have to move along with the world, along with the international community. We cannot afford to subjugate, we cannot afford to undermine our women folk anymore. They are also as educated, as qualified, as like any other human being, if not more than the men folk. Therefore, we have empowered the women. And definitely, if you voted us back to power again, our main focus will be on empowering the women, number one. Number two, on the youth. On the party manifesto, this is the theme is a new vision, a new image, a new future. This is the theme of the party manifesto, this 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly election. This is the party manifesto. Definitely, we will provide you with a new, brighter future. The youth, there will be a huge emphasis on skilling the youth. A lot of opportunities for the unemployed youth will be created. And we have a strong leadership in the personality of our President, Dr. Surajala Lizechu, and also our Chief Ministerial candidate, Mr. T.R. Ziliang. And therefore, I would like to impress upon and appeal the youth, the voters of Nagaland, that we should be given another opportunity, and we will come back and serve you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The last question for this round to the NPP. Not many people know about the NPP. It's an unknown commodity, and it has been set up in the state during a relatively short time just before elections. It has no track record of any political work here. What has persuaded your party to contest in the elections, and why should people vote for the NPP and its candidates?
Thank you, Chairman, for having me and for the question. The question that you put forth to the party is also very important for us. And in a way, this platform also not only about, it's not only about having a discussion, which is very crucial and important at this juncture, but also about the visions and ideals of the party. And to answer the question, we are at this juncture where, given the political crisis that we have witnessed, especially over the 5 years, we NPP has come in to provide that alternative platform, an alternative political party. And as far as our track record is concerned in Nagaland, we have no political baggage with us. Our slate is clean. And that is where we think that we hold the trump card. That give us a chance, and we will see that the visions of the party, and that is, speaking about the visions of the party, we are talking about tribal issues. We are a tribal-centric party, and in that sense, by extension, we share the sentiments of the Nagas in Nagaland, and thereby, by giving us a chance, and that being a clean party, that being a party that is starting afresh, I think that holds consonance with the current political situation. And in the light of all this that is happening, I think the party, if we are the one thing that makes a distinction as a party from other parties is that we have resolved that any office bearers of the party will not contest elections, or for that matter, any elected representative or MLA will not hold any office in the party. And that, if you can understand, is in a way answering some problems that the current political crisis that we're facing as well. With that question, with that I end my answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, you're sitting very close to your alliance partner, the NPF. So, Achempemo, is the NPP a good partner? Okay, so we have come to the end of the first segment where we have asked the party-specific questions. We will now like to call upon the moderator for the second segment.
Right, a big hand for Along Longkumar from the Naga Republic. Thank you, Along. And a big hand for these participants. Thank you very much for taking on this very brave role to come here and face. I think there are more than 200 people here in the audience today, and hopefully you will convince them of wherever you stand at any point of time. From this segment onwards, we will have a public discussion and people will get a chance to ask questions and grill them anyhow you want. I will not stop you from doing that, except if you're attacking them. Do not make any personal attacks on them. They are here representing their parties and not maybe of their own free will. I do not know. We will find out. Let me put in some more guidelines. I have been hearing some phones going off. Please either switch off your phones or keep your phones on silent as respect for people who are attending and speaking here. Please don't litter the premises at the end of the program. If you want to drink more water, there's a lot more water in the canister outside. Fill up your bottles. That's fine. While asking a question, please introduce yourself or the institution you come from so that we know who you are. Take not more than 30 seconds to ask your question or introduce yourself, or a comment if it is, but not more than 30 seconds. Ren will take care of that. She will ring a bell when it's done. Personal attacks, no personal attacks. Please tell us who you're directing the question to, because it could be a common question for all the parties, or it could be a specific question for a specific party. Please indicate what that is. And panelists, please don't take more than 2 minutes to answer these questions. Ren will ring a short bell at 1 minute 30 seconds, and then a longer one at 2 minutes. So this is how we start off the next round. Do we have a question from the audience? I can see a hand there that shot up first. Please ask your question. Volunteers, please give a mic to them.
A very good morning to our respected sirs and ladies and gentlemen present here. My name is Emily, pursuing MSW from NASER, that is Northeast Institute of Social Science and Research, and specialized in youth development. And it's a common question for all the sirs. And as we can see that there are lack in public libraries. So my question will be, what are the concrete measures that you want to take up for the development of higher education system in our state?
Okay, thank you. So what are the measures each of your party, if you come to power, plan to take up for higher education, for also students otherwise? There are no public libraries till date. There's no way we can actually go to study. Where do students go if not say, their college that is very far-flung. So please explain to us what measures you will take, particularly in the first 3 months of your office. Let me start from this side onwards. Samuel start and then we'll go that way onwards. You can refer to your manifesto, of course, take a minute to do that. And Ren, 2 minutes.
We have specifically mentioned in the manifesto as far as higher and technical education is concerned. And to that end, we are proposing to set up an engineering and a medical college, and also, if possible, an IIT in Nagaland. And an extension to that question, even in the schools as well and colleges, we are all for not an equitable treatment of both government and private schools. And in that, we want to promote smart classrooms, and also the issue that we're having with scholarships as well, since this is all an extension of that. Even that, we want it to be dispersed not through some agencies, but directly be routed to the schools, or in a way that is more transparent and accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Students, please keep noting everything down so that we can hold them accountable later. Mr. Kikon, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought I'll respond first because I'm running the government now, my parties. But anyway,
Actually, we are part
during
of
the past 15 years, the government and the party has given special emphasis on education, because we believe that if our society has to improve, we have to put more trust and investment on education. And our government has taken a lot of measures to improve both primary as well as elementary education, and also secondary and high secondary, and even the university level. This party we are focusing more on improving the educational system. We have identified some crucial areas like providing free education to girl students up to university level. I think this is a big promise we are making. Hopefully we will be able to make it with your support. Then there is a lot of halabula over non-release of scholarship. We are promising you the timely release of scholarship if you voted us back the power again. Then even on the higher education, which our friends have asked, that is one thrust this party has focused. Definitely we will put more impetus on the higher education, and also vocational institutions like even music and some other skilling the youth, which I've already emphasized in my in my earlier presentation. So education is one thrust, one very important aspect which this party is focusing. And definitely with your vote, with your support, we are coming back to power, so we will give you good education and good institutions to ensure that our education standard, our educational institutions reach to a national and international standard. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Yome.
I will also on the same line that I want to urge and appeal to the youth and the intellectual that you should realize which party should come to form the government. I think NDPP change is coming. I think we all should understand that and vote the NDPP to form the next government. And we are confident that we are coming to form the government, and we will lead especially the youth, the students. The question to be responded is that our party manifesto is very clear. If we are voted to the government, from the day one, we will start implementing in letter and spirit that regarding the students' education, that we have already come out with a manifesto that we will be providing a new students' insurance covered scheme, which will be given to all the students. Engineering college, everybody, for the past 15 years, the government is pursuing that. but our NDPP assures that once we voted the NDPP to power, engineering college will be seen visibly. Then other policy which we have is that there will be a regulation for the private institution, and also the centers of excellence along with the IT, mass communication, and also job fairs, skill development. All this will be coming into the, all these are already on the pipeline. And also the training center and the coaching center for the competitive exam, which we are also looking forward to tie up with the universities within the countries and outside the countries. So this is the education policy for the NDPP party. Therefore, I appeal the young people to vote the NDPP to form the next government. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My turn?
Captain Jim,
Okay.
you may.
I must say, Nagas are the most tolerant people on this planet. Why so? Even after 15 years, instead of hearing about the achievements, we are still hearing about the promises. So that way we are very tolerant. Anyway, it's all a part of the game. We have, since the question was specifically about higher education, let me give you an example of what we have mentioned in our manifesto. Nagaland, especially I'll focus on technical seats. We have around, I think, around 40 MBBS seats every year. So that means, and for parents who can afford, maybe around 50 to 100 students. So Nagaland in a year is producing hardly 100 doctors, whereas we should be producing thousands here. We have the youngsters capable enough, but the competition has become stiff. In the technical seats like engineering and in other technology also, we have limited number of seats with thousands of +2 students passing out every year. This avenue, this opportunity is shrinking. They also, with the advent of common entrance examination, our students are unable to cope with the mainland. So our policies in our manifesto, we have clearly mentioned, first of all, will increase the intake of technical seats to 3,000 seats. As of now, we are not even having 500 seats. So that is why we will increase the intake, as well as our policy for promoting higher education is not to bring some, thrust and lay a foundation stone and fool the people. We will tie up, we will sign an MOU with reputed educational institution and educational trust to have a center in Nagaland or in a private-public partnership mode. Because the government alone, I'm sure with our limited resources, it's next to impossible to keep promising. But we will enter into PPP mode to see that higher education achieves the standards of excellence and our youngsters are benefited. Thank you.
Mr. Gonma, you can take your time.
The BJP does not only promise, we rarely implement them in toto, That's what I want to say. As far as the education of the state is concerned, the state, we are going to implement the entire government schemes that has been promised through the UC and all. Most of the schemes, central schemes, have not been implemented and all. And regarding the state's dilapidated educational system, we are really going to revamp it. Every government high schools and colleges in the district headquarters, it's really going to be revamped, Including, we are going to add some hostel facilities, especially for the girl child, And along with that, we are going to follow a policy of lessening books for the school students. That's another thing. And another thing is, we are going to focus a lot on vocational training, like setting up vocational institutes. Because along with the government central schemes of skilling India and all, this is a very serious program all over the nation, and this is going to be our main focus. And along with the vocational training, we are going to open up markets where they can absorb the educated unemployed. And there are a few other things which may be enlightened if you read our manifesto. We are promising free laptops for all meritorious higher secondary students. So it'll be nice if you can perform your class 12 exam very nicely. And not only that, there are many more things. Please go through our manifesto. And as I said before, BJP does not only promise. We really implement them, and we are really going to implement for the betterment of all the students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are all your manifestos available online for everyone to access? They are. So all of you have your websites on which manifestos can be accessed. In my excitement to start this whole round, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Aheli Moitra. I work with the Morung Express. So now you know who called all of you. I know there are a lot of questions, but based on what responses all of you have given us, there are many plans. You want to revamp the schools, promise colleges, and do a whole lot of vocational training, skilling, and all of that. But one of the problems we have realized over and over and over again, the provisions and schemes are all there, but they don't get to the students. The scholarships are not getting there. The money is not getting to the schools which are supposed to be revamped. And one of the problems is with the bureaucracy that handles all of this money that is coming in from the center. Do you all have any concrete plans in the first couple of months to hold the bureaucracy or even your political leadership accountable for disbursement of all the funds that are available? If yes, please take a minute to tell us what those measures will be.
Within 3 months.
Within 3 months, so it has to be a very concrete policy, yes. So I know we started first from there and second from here. Anybody can start now.
I'll take the liberty because
Please give a minute,
I'm the only
1 minute.
opposition. Rest are all together in government, so I think the answer should be given the luxury of time. We are all about talking about scholarship and crediting to account and all. No, I fail to understand why the government, after taking the details of all the students, Aadhaar linking, everything, is failing to deliver. Something is wrong with the delivery mechanism, and as our moderator is saying, it is the accountability from the bureaucracy that is missing. But the bureaucracy will deter, of course, with due respect to some few honest ones, unless there is a political will, unless the political leaders are strong enough to rein in, to keep them on leash.
How will you keep them on leash? That's the question.
It's the accountability that has been fixed. Anybody who has done wrong has to be punished, has to be made a
punish
specimen.
bureaucrats,
Yeah, of course.
senior bureaucrats.
Yes, of course. That may antagonize some few, but Nagaland, we have a situation where actually the government is run by the bureaucrats, by the technocrats.
So Congress will punish the senior most bureaucrats as soon as they come to power.
Of course, take it for granted.
Regarding this question, I'd just like to say that I can really assure, out of the innermost characteristics and principles of the BJP party, I can say that BJP is a very, very accountable party, and whatever they do, as I said before, they are really going to do it, In the past few months, I don't want to say, you have read in the papers, many officers have been held accountable. Has it ever happened in Nagaland? There are already 6, 7 officers, they have been booked on corruption charges now. This is what the BJP does. We do it, we are a pro-people party, people-centric, and then we'll really do it. But this is nothing personal, nothing against any community, religion, nothing. It is just to ensure that there is the evidence of fairness, equitability among the public. And this is the sign of accountability, and this is the characteristic of BJP, and we are really going to do it.
Thank you. Sir, but you were also a part of the Dan government, if we are not mistaken, and BJP did never take a stand against corruption. Just to keep this in mind while we go on with this discussion, any one of 3 of you want to respond to that? Sure.
Just to respond to the question that our esteemed moderator just put forth. That answer is there right there in the number 1, serial number 1 of our manifesto itself. If I can read just for a second. The party will work earnestly towards minimization of corruption at all levels of governance and administration by ensuring appointment of board members in all departments who have adequate experience and knowledge without any political bias. Now
just have a minute.
Yes, yes. By that I mean to say that, see, we strongly feel, we are coming from a place where we understand the nexus between the political, parties, the political leaders and the bureaucrats, the executive. And that is why even the party also, we want to make a distinction. We want the legislators to be under the party. That we are not witnessing at the moment. And to that end, we have this as #1 priority in our manifesto, that we set up board directories in all the crucial departments where these people are appointed because of their caliber, because of their professional, because of their...
Okay,
yeah.
thank you very much. So there is a concrete idea. Yes, regional parties. No answer? Or you don't want to do anything about corruption?
My friend Kepte Hege is from Congress. Congress has no MLA in the assembly, so he can shout from here. So I cannot blame him.
You just have a minute.
Anyway, what is important here is, yes, partially both the bureaucrats as well as the politicians, we ought to be blamed. I cannot escape from that parameter. However, Nagas are a very small family. You know, the bureaucrats are also someone from your village, from my village, from your family, from your tribe. So while implementing, executing, there is always hassles, bureaucratic hassles here and there. And then the politicians get involved here and there. And in the process, the goods normally doesn't get down to the ground on time. I think it doesn't mean that the government is siphoning off the funds that are meant for the public. No. There could be some cases here and there, but we cannot generalize. And if we are voted back to power again, there is a strong measure we are taking in the party manifesto that the bureaucrats have to be, there has to be streamlining in the functioning, and we will ensure that there is accountability and transparency in all this system, which we have already promised in the manifesto.
If you're voted back to power.
Yes.
Because you didn't give me any concrete measures. Yes, Mr. Yomi. If you all can share the mic. Oh, there is a lamp.
I'll just respond with only one point, that there is not good governance system in a state. There is no political will to take a strong decision on implementing the governance. Therefore, all these problems are faced by that there is no governance system, there is no administrative system. Who are responsible? These are our political leaders. Therefore, we said we need change. We need decisive leaders to ensure to the people that the students, the youth, whatever are there for them, for their benefit, we want to assure and give hope to the students, to the people, that a good governance system will be restored back by the NDPP party, where your scholarship problem will not be faced.
You mean a new system of governance will be put in place?
Right, right.
A whole new system of governance?
Yes, yes.
A whole new system of governance will be set in place?
Right, right.
Thank you very much. Right, so now we go back to the audience questions. Please raise your hands very clearly. Hold on, I know I have seen all the hands. Sir, are you one of the questions? Okay, let me say, let's give him the mic. So 1 second. Somebody will give you the mic. Please tell us who the question is for and who should respond to it.
Yeah, I am from Bengali Samaj Dimapur. I do represent Bengali Samaj Dimapur. I have been listening to you all with ardent concentration. My direct question to Congress representative and NPF. And to the Congress representative, my question is that you have been in power in Nagaland for so many long years after independence. I mean, when statehood came from 1961 to 1982, if few years in between lost. You told that you will do so many things new. Election is not fought on promises, it is fought on a report card. What is your report card? For the last few years that you had been in power, what did you do? You told that you will punish the bureaucrats. How many bureaucrats did you punish when you were in power? To the NPF...
Sir, that's it.
Now, one more question to the NPF I want to ask.
Okay, just wrap up.
Okay, I'll do it. You have told that you have done so many things, but you have not substantiated your claims with any data. If you do that, we will be enlightened. Thank you.
Okay, since the question is directed to me, I'll take the call. You are saying what the Congress has done, in major part of the years after statehood. I must say, in 54 years of statehood, Congress has been in power for the most of the time. And today, whatever infrastructures we see on ground are all during Congress time. The infrastructures that we created are not collapsing. The bridges are collapsing, the roads are gone, the roads are riverbeds. So, what happened 15 years ago when Congress was in power? At least whatever little we have and whatever little asset creation, it is done by Congress. Regional parties have done nothing for Nagaland. I must say it frankly, they always say we are regional pride, but then other than talking about regional pride, I don't think they have done anything from Nagaland. Time is limited, otherwise I can talk on for hours on this. So I would, my request to my friend from the Bengali Samaj is you have seen, you have witnessed Congress खामे में क्या हालत था, क्या progress था, जो सेंटर में कुछ पैसा दिया, कुछ तो काम तो किया, अभी क्या 15 साल का हालत तो नहीं था ना, तो यही तो मेरा जवाब है आपके लिए. Thank you.
Yes, that's a good question. We have actually come out with the data which you are asking for. Our achievements during the past 5 years, 10 years, and 15 years. The measures that we have to adopt for another 5 years, we have already incorporated in our party manifesto. In fact, this party, the Kok party, has a wing called Minority Wing, headed by one Vishnu Bhattacharya. There is a focused on the minority group of people who are inhabiting in Nagaland, a separate charter of vision for them also. And therefore, I would also like to urge upon the minority community that so long as you are a part of Naga society, be a part of NBF family. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next set of questions I can see. Sir, behind you there was one person and then you can take. Why don't both of you ask one after the other so that we can quickly wrap up.
Right,
Yes, I'll come
my
to
name
you.
is Dr. Kung Memo. I'm from Faith Hospital. Hello.
One of your phones ringing. It's okay, go ahead.
All right. I think we don't have any shortage of manifestos and dreams and visions that every party is giving us. I have lots of questions. I'll try to make it fast. The thing is, how are the leaders becoming richer right after they become a leader or get elected as a candidate or a minister or a cabinet? From where are they earning their money? Instead of doing TR camp and Rio camp, why not use those money for the development of the people? One. Number two, who is a leader? And what are the core values of your leadership? Because we don't have shortage of dreams and visions given to us, but we have shortage of having the right leader doing the right thing. So who is a leader and what are the core values of your leadership?
Is that for all the parties?
Actually, it's for all, but anyone can answer, no problem.
Show of hands, who wants to answer this question?
What is actually his question? What he wants to know?
What is your vision for the leadership? There has to be some core sort of values that the leadership must entail, and what are those core values? And
First question is, who is a leader? Like, who is a leader? You know, what person becomes a leader? What are the attributes or the values that a leader should possess to be a leader? Because we don't have shortage of all the dreams and visions that's being told to us. But to carry out, we need the right leader with the right values and the right character to carry it out. So who is a leader according to all the panelists here?
I'll take the question.
just take 30 seconds.
Okay,
Name your leaders.
Yeah. Question is very, matlab, I must say, very well put out question. A leader is the one, it's more of a theoretical, the one who is able to lead from the front, with full accountability. Today we have a famine of leaders in Nagaland. We have only an army of followers only. We have leaders who have failed us in all respect, A good leader is the one who grooms the next generation of leaders. That our seniors have failed us. Today we have a big vacuum. With due respect to some few ones, this is my take. That is why my request to the participant who asked this question is, identify and invest in young leaders, in ideals people who have minimal requirements in life. Today our definition of leader in Naga society is about money. How much does he have? That is our classification of a leader. If this continues, nothing is going to change. Though my friends say change is coming, change is coming. I wonder whether it is for better or for worse. Thank you.
Thank you. So hopefully there will be more poor leaders and leaders with ethics that the Congress will.
Definitely. We are grooming, we are evolving.
Of course, the
Give us a chance.
The richest candidate.
Have patience with us.
Ex-Congressee.
Regarding leadership, to be very frank, I should say the confusion regarding the definition of leadership and the difference in meaning and the actual existence. Yes, we expect leaders to lead from the front with all honesty, but what we find is corruption, fine. But honestly speaking, as far as Nagaland's political culture is concerned, it has been corrupted by the Congress culture of the last 4 or 5 decades. That is the problem. That is why,
and all our leaders are with you now, corrupted ones.
That is why we don't find the correct version of a leadership. So this time, if you support us, if you support the BJP, you'll find what a leader should be and what a leader is. You can just look at our Prime Minister Modi, and that is what BJP is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We have gifted all our corrupt leaders to BJP.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Would you all like to respond to this question or? Okay, no, sorry. Sir, you, 1 minute, and then we'll go to that question there. One with the glasses, sir.
I'm Dr. Moji from Dimapur. 5 years of statehood has made me very cynical. We have seen no development in our land. When I look at our roads, I'm ashamed. My friends come from outside the state and say, "What's happened to your road? What's happened to your, to your drains and your sanitation?" So that shows the leadership that we have, whether it is Congress or NPF or the new change party, the NDDP, and of course the new entrance, BJP. However, if I were to have it my way, I would not be supporting any of those parties. I'd rather have 15 years of president's rule. I think we'll see more changes there. One question which I'd like to ask of all the parties. When do we see some of our politicians and bureaucrats go to jail? Don't forget, Lalu Prasad is in jail right now for corruption. That's for all the parties. And to the BJP party. Sir, BJP is playing very strongly on the development part, and Nagaland needs that card very much, definitely. But let us not forget that you do have an ulterior motive of the Hindutva program. And we in Nagaland, we are not happy about it. So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, there are 2 questions there. One is, sir, you need not be ashamed of the roads. It's not your fault the roads are like that. And secondly, I think the second question you directed to the BJP, I think they answered it in the beginning. So we are going to skip over that. But the first question about the roads and why nothing has been done and why it's like that, why should citizens feel ashamed of it in the first place? Please, a little bit on what you plan to do on the roads in the next couple of months, because the roads have been like this with all of you one way or the other in power except you. So please tell us what you plan to do.
Thank you. I will just respond back to the road condition. My party, NDPP, is very clear. If you voted to the government, by the first week of that formation of the government, the NDPP will start repairing the road. That's what I want to comment on.
Like they said, they'll come up with new governance system with the old face. So something new may happen. Sir, please, let them all respond. Sir, we would really appreciate no personal attacks because it's not his fault, again, that he's getting old. Please, the rest of you, please. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just question 2. I'll just answer 2 questions. The first one is, yes, we are really emphasizing on roads. And as you see, many roads are under this thing, It's been implemented. Even in Meghalaya, even in Nagaland, of course, you see this Kohima-Dimapur road, it was promised by Atal Bihari Ji, former Prime Minister. So it's a very serious effort. It is really going to be, And the second and most important thing, because I treat this second question very important, because many have been like, misled to think in wrong things about things regarding Hindutva, especially BJP. Of course, this Hindutva is kind of like, it comes from the central theme or the BJP philosophy of integral humanism. Integral humanism, as propounded by Dindal Upadhyaya, actually essentially means a development that takes place with people in the center, people's welfare in the center. So in doing that, we also protect the society from capitalism, that is excessive westernization, and communism, that is excessive generalization. So we are kind of people-centric party, so that is thing. Now in that case, people think that it is associated with religion. No, I can assure you, it is really no. If you hear some people like, giving that religious trend, our supporters are just misusing their connection with the BJP. And as far as Northeast is concerned, there is really no fear about any Hindutva, anything. I can assure you.
Sir, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Roads, are you taking the roads?
Roads and this,
Do you need
not
to take
countering,
that?
but then just substantiating what he has said.
Please substantiate on roads.
Yeah.
That's
No.
what we want to know.
No, not on roads. Roads to the government power will answer. I want to
Then
substantiate.
you have only 30 seconds and you have to wrap it up.
Okay. Hindutva, please go to Google and see it. My Hindu friends are here. Hindu and Hindutva is a 2 different terms. Majority of the Hindus don't support this Hindutva ideology. Hindutva ideology is based on RSS ideology based on Manusmriti, which has no place for lower caste people, and that is very clear. You all can go to Google, Wikipedia and learn it, other than hiring from our panelists and beating around the bush.
Thank you, sir. On the roads, please, we would really like some concrete measures you want to take on roads.
Just to answer the questions regarding the roads, we already have enough projects being cleared here for Nagaland, and the most important immediate step that we want to take, the NPP as a party, if you're at all voted to power, is that we want to ensure the implementation of these road projects. We want to ensure that these road projects are being implemented. And further down the line, if you're talking about bringing in road projects, we want to ensure that the Dimapur to Tizit Foothill Road is being implemented on a war footing, and also to propose for outer ring road around Nagaland and connected to the South Asian countries, because we are looking at the Asian Highway #1 and all of that. So now our #1 priority is implementation of the existing road projects in Nagaland.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kikon, you have to answer this question.
You can see a lot of new construction coming up, roads. It will improve within a few months right after we come back to power. Seriously coming back to the question. See, if we are to improve not only road, but our lifestyle, I think this is time. Your vote matters. Now what is happening on the ground is, this discussion, I wish if it goes down to the road. The election has become too expensive. You will be shocked how much amount of money a candidate is investing to win. Tomorrow you want good road, good school, good hospitals. We have a lot of agendas. How do we do all this? To expend the amount of money that is being pumped in, it will be in terms of even 1,000 crore. How do we do this? Where do we start? Now, we give the government, the party give contract so some of your families who are a contractor, first class contractor, second class contractor. How can we just blame the politicians, the government? It is our people who are executing actually. Whom are we to make responsible? Who should be held responsible? All of us are equally responsible. We are not giving to some strangers the contract that is to be executed. And if we are to do it, I think the government on its part have been, of course, looking for new schemes, they have been trying, but on the implementation part. And I'm coming back to the point that election, I think we have to tell the voters that we have the answer which I wanted to give our young friend, that people are looking for someone who has a lot of money, not that this fellow has a quality of this leadership, that leadership. Our voters are not looking for that. You just go and ask someone, if you give more money, I'll vote for you. That is the situation we are facing.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I wonder if all of you are ready to vow here today that nobody will give money anymore to any of your voters. Are the parties ready to commit? There seems to be a demand right there. So, I mean, if you want to take a vow at the end,
If they showed us that they'll go to the entire 60 constituency, we will do that.
Right. Sir, please, no. At the end. At the end.
I insist.
Please.
NPF spokesman has said that the roads are being built by us, Nagas only. That's right. Some of our friends really do that. But there must be a regulatory mechanism as to when the road is made. There must be certain specifications that have to be met. So who looks after it? Please.
Exactly, that's the point. The engineers are also our family again. So how do we go about the government?
Okay.
Absolutely,
So
we
there
will-
is a systemic problem. You are admitting it that there is a systemic problem, and no matter who comes to power has to address that problem.
Absolutely. Now we are in power. Even if other political party comes back to power, it is so difficult to recollect Naga family. We are free Naga, no? So therefore, everybody wants to do kushi. This is the problem with us. Whether it is contractor, whether it is engineers, or whoever it is. In fact, the bureaucrats should be obedient to the politicians, to the lawmakers. But it is other way around. The politics is being played by our bureaucrats, the technocrats. So how do we recollect this? The public literally have no ways. They control the whole thing, the whole waters. Now, even after coming back to power, they wish to control the whole system. So I think somewhere down the line, streamlining within ourselves, the public have to recollect if we need change, the electioneering system, the election process have to be changed. This is what I'm strongly emphasizing.
Okay, thank you. Please make a note of that. Yes, the one in glasses there, and then ma'am here will take a question. And after that, we'll see. Him, please. Yeah. Yes, you with the glasses.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Bikash Das. I am from Dimapur Government College, BA second semester. I have 4 questions in my mind right now.
Please ask one.
Okay, then please tell me that after your party comes to power, there is not going to be any corruption. The state will not be in ruin and chaos. Instead, there will be development. The students will have a benefit there. And as we know, most of the schools, they have this Digicom classes, but they are not working. So tell me that they will work and there will be a development. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, we'll have the next question as well so that that can be clubbed together. Yes, ma'am, here, right here.
Thank you for this time. My name is Akole and I'm from Peck District, working with a women's organization called Northeast Network. My question is, earlier in the first round, I've heard from NPF and NDPP about your commitment to women's empowerment and gender equality. So my question here is to ask, like, what specific plans do you have to address, number 1, the increasing cases of violence against women in our state? Number 2, on the absence of women in policy-making, decision-making bodies, starting from the village level to the apex, like, what are your plans to address this too?
Thank you. So, any order that you want to take, and shall we go from there? Or you have already?
I'll take the call on this. Our friend from
2
Dimapur
minutes,
Government
please.
College who is talking about anti-corruption. 2013 assembly election, our Congress manifesto was Lokayukta, to set up within 100 days. At that point of time, I don't think any organization has ever come up with a demand of a Lokayukta. And it was our Congress which promised within 100 days, but sadly, the public begged to defer with that, and we were shunted out for another 5-year term. That's a different story now. Today, it is very sad that this Lokayukta was tabled in Assembly in July 2015. It has been shuttling between the select committees and the expert committees, and it is still yet to see the light of the day. So on our part, we have again recommitted in our manifesto, and it is for you to figure out who is making this Lokayukta bill go round and round the mulberry bush. Thank you.
Any answers to the second question about women?
Women empowerment, Congress was the first one for 33% women reservation. Madam Sonia Gandhi, as our Congress president, had literally taken initiative. The only thing is the BJP in the opposition stalled the women reservation bill in the parliament. And it promised in its manifesto of 2014 to give women reservation, but I think 45 months down the line, Modi ji is still silent on that. As far as our Congress is concerned, we are all out for women empowerment. And that bill is still stalled in the parliament. You can check from the records. And we are committed to that. It is for our friends to give an answer to that as to why they are delaying that. Thank you.
Our friends means the NPF, I think.
Both the BJP and the NPF, the natural allies, they call themselves.
Okay, all right. NPF or BJP? Who wants to
Women empowerment, no? As far as the Koch party is concerned, you see, it is this party, this government, that has actually empowered the woman, even at the village level. You will find representation in the village development board, where there is a 25% quota for women to be a part of the VDB board members. You will also find in the village education committee, in the village health committee, so on and so forth. I have already emphasized in my earlier speech, even in the urban and local bodies. I think we are not just simply speaking, we are not just simply talking, we are walking the talk, we are walking the talk. We are actually, this is already not even in the pipeline, it is already on the ground. We are doing it, we will do it. And we have actually experienced it. If you would have passed back the power, we will see that the women, the municipal and town council, we need to build consensus to ensure that election is held on time, and the development that you are talking about, especially the towns and cities, Dimapur, Kohima, the district headquarters, these are actually the trust, the funding has to come from the municipal and town council through their funding. But since we have stalled the elections, that has actually pushed the development back forward again. Therefore, I think this is one reasoning we all have to think again and again, because we have to arrive to a consensus on this issue. What are the other questions which he has asked? I forgot. Dimapur friends?
Ensure development without corruption.
That, don't worry, it's already there. We will ensure that there will be no corruption in the government, next government, and also we will ensure that full swing development we are promising you. Thank you.
Okay, Ali, just on women reservation, let me clear one point. It's for all the Nagas to know who is fooling who. Okay, 2006, NPF government had implemented, was told to implement 30% women's reservation by the Guwahati High Court. But then in 2012 September, the Assembly passed a resolution saying that this infringes on Part 9, this women reservation, which is taken from Part 9 of the Constitution, infringes on our 371A. And they are the ones who kept it aside. And just in August 2015, one day, finally, the Chief Minister said, no, we'll have women reservation. And in November, just one day session was called to just revoke that. That is where it flared up, yeah.
Right.
So
okay.
please, to set the record straight.
I understand that, but we need to know what each party is thinking, and they are still thinking on lines of reservation. It's important for us to know
Why
that.
the flip-flopping? 2012 they say it's infringing.
We are not in the assembly and we are not arguing about it. We just want to hear from each party.
So regarding the first question regarding corruption, I just want to be very brief. See, regarding corruption, the Prime Minister's this thing, okay, I keep on mentioning Prime Minister, I have to, because it all comes from there. They are really serious about checking this corruption now. So one good thing the BJP government has done is, like, corruption takes place mostly during the implementation stage. When the money is passed down, it goes through different layers. The department, the state department, then the district office, no, it goes through. And meantime, when it reaches the bottom layer, only 5 to 10% remains. That is the main question. So what our BJP government has done is that now they are sending the money straight to the agent who implements the schemes. And like it does not, most of the major schemes does not route through the state government. It comes straight to the person who is implementing it. And there's another scheme where the person who is implementing has to maintain it for 5 years. In that way, there is more responsibility. Then there is another way, PPP mode, where there is a public-private partnership. These schemes, all these things are meant to check corruption and all. Of course, corruption cannot be totally omitted, like deleted 100%. No country can do it, even Singapore and all, whatever it is. But then, efforts are very strong at a central government level to check all these things. And on the second question is regarding women, this thing, empowerment. BJP has really stood for the women empowerment. We are very strictly in favor of 33% reservation, and even if we cannot, we are ensuring that women participation at every level from village to the center is ensured now.
Okay.
And we are going to implement most of the schemes meant for women and child. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a good point in regard to the women empowerment. I think no political party is talking about gender equality. This is the NDP party. We are fully with the women reservation. We are fully supporting the women empowerment. However, our party, the change which we want to bring is that we want the gender equality. We don't want that giving a woman empowerment and reservation and the rest, we are not taking the women on board. I don't think that can go on. Therefore, our party policy and our party principles is very clear. If a man gets its one share, we want the women also to get the same share and to be on the decision making. We want the gender equality to be implemented. This is what we are talking about change.
Thank you, but have you fielded equal number of men and women candidates?
This is what, no. However, this is, our door is open to all the women that we will give equality.
Sure. No,
any woman can come forward. Any woman can come forward. We will give an equal treatment.
Nobody has fielded enough women candidates. Not Congress, not BJP, certainly not NPF, and not NPP. But you haven't done anything to actually enhance women's powers to come.
We have one woman candidate.
Okay, please, go ahead. Do you want to answer?
Yes.
Okay,
Just to quickly respond to the last question that our moderator asked. We have fielded 2 women candidates. We had 2 women intending candidates seeking for a party ticket, and after having done the feasibility assessment and all that, you have to understand that NPP is just 2 months old. And within the 2 months, we have set up the highest number of women candidates, even if it's a small number, just only 2. But we have the highest number of women candidates. And that number speaks for itself. I don't have to say much on that.
Thank you.
And just 1 minute.
Yeah,
and to touch upon the women empowerment, that is very crucial to our party because see, we are all for women empowerment. And by women empowerment, we want it to be done through gender equity. Not even equality, but to gender equity. We want women we want to bring them up to where we are right now. And also to do with reservation, we are talking about the NPP as a party, we are all for women reservation, but given the patriarchal setup that we are in, we have to accept the reality, we have to accept the fact, and also the political push and pull implications and all of that. We want to first of all create a consensus in the society. We want to put forth a dialogue so that we can, all mutually build a consensus and we can go about it. As far as our intentions are good, then we can always have the common good that will be fruitful. And so please vote for NPP. Thank you.
Is there a response from? Okay, that's fine. We have 2 more questions. I know from there, okay, you are already standing up, okay. Okay, there's a young woman there, I can see, I have to give her a chance. Okay, let's take 3 questions and you, sir. Anybody at the back? Has anybody raised a question and I have not seen?
Okay, first of all, the political parties in Nagaland is like a drama team. You know, it's like a drama. Now, I would like to start asking all the group, okay? Nagaland received the highest fund, that is 92.5%. Delhi received the lowest fund, that is 7.2%. Delhi receives the lowest fund, but it's progressing in every aspect of society. You know, it is progressing in every way. What about Nagaland? There were 3 bridges, 2 already down, 1 is hardly, you know, surviving. There is dust everywhere, road nowhere. There is no proper electricity. About scholarship, forget that. We don't even have a state library. So where does all the fund go? Where does all the money go? I want an answer, please.
Okay, where does all the money go? One. The young lady over there, please, sorry, I cannot take all of the questions. The young lady over there, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Preno from UNITED.
Everybody can hear if you.
Hello. Okay, my name is Supeno Kikon from YouthNet. So my question here is, for every one of you, since you have promised vocational institutions and music schools for the students, what about the educated unemployed? Since I work in NGO, my concern for my friends is like, we want government job, not private sector's job. So what about the industries? We don't have industries here in Nagaland. So what do you think about the young people, thousands of graduates that are coming up in the, every year? So do you have any plan for the young, educated, unemployed youth? Thank you.
How do you, human resources, it's a very good question on human resources, and if we can club both of them and take just 2 minutes to answer each of you.
I'll take the call. Okay, to my friend out here, where does the fund goes? See the bank balance and the prosperity of those in ruling here. And for me, poor opposition, I am here today and it will remain like this, yeah. Take it as sure. So it's for you to figure out. Second question is very good question from the YouthNet. This has been the, you know, it is very sad that thousands of our youngsters are working in metros, being exploited. And many of them are ashamed and they are living with shame. Why? Because we have failed to accommodate. And government job is saturated. Nagaland has got 1,42,000 government employees, which is the highest ratio across the nation. Manipur with just 30 lakhs population has just got around 70,000 government employees only, whereas we are overstaffed. Coming to the question, the thing is, as a Congress, our policy, our think tank, our decision is, Nagaland, we have a large number of English-speaking youngsters who can very well be accommodated in many IT, like BPOs and many, you know, other business processing outlets, which can be, it will be a different, it will be an alternate avenue for our youngsters. And in a place like Dimapur, if the government has a will, we can set up some exclusive zones where, you know, companies will be given a tax holiday to invest, to set up, and to accommodate the youngsters. Because I'm telling you, earning 20,000 in Nagaland is much better than earning 50,000 in the mainland. That is the policy and that is the vision that we have.
We are running out of time.
What was the second? First is regarding this.
Human resources.
Regarding the funding, where does it go now? The first question. Actually, yeah, it's all part of the question. That's what everyone's in the mind. The government is taking a lot of action. And as you can see from all the central schemes that has been implemented, the Jan Dhan Yojana, every person is supposed to have a bank account and all. And regarding this Aadhaar and then e-mobile, mobile banking and all, and then electronic transfer of money, payment and all these are efforts to check corruption. And there's a thing that every student has to have a bank account so that their scholarships will be transferred into their account and all. And regarding the gas, subsidies, no, it is only to be transferred to the bank account. These are all measures to check corruption at every level and all. So the BJP government, wherever we are doing the best. And regarding the opportunities of educated employment, no, that also Act East policy is being really emphasized. Because of that, all these roads and railway links connecting to Myanmar is under construction. So even in Nagaland, like all these roads and the railway link and all, which is going up to Jubja, Actually, originally, it was not supposed to be Jubja, but somewhere it goes down towards Myanmar. No, all these are efforts. But the thing is that main thing in Nagaland, the main obstacle is the lack of people's cooperation when we implement these central schemes. That is the main problem. If the public cooperates, then the problems we are facing, the problems on which you have been questioned, will be solved easily. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Yome, do you want to take the question?
Regarding the funds, as I have repeated again, there is no proper system in the governance. There is no transparency. There is no accountability. That is why we are not getting all this where the funds are flowing. Therefore, NDPP coming as a change, to change in Nagaland. We want to prove ourselves that we want to give an accountability. What have we done that everybody should know. The transparency should be there. This is what the NDPP stands for. And regarding the employment, NDPP, I don't need to go in details. We are not only talking about the educated unemployed youth. We are also focusing on the uneducated unemployed youth. This is what the principle and the NDPP have. So the details will come in the afterwards. You can go through the manifesto. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Kikon, something to say about. Mr. Samuel, do you want to? Oh, nobody wants to make a comment?
Captain Hege has defended me, so I'm happy. Where has the money gone? The young friend has asked. It's about salary. The whole money gone to the salary because it's overemployed. Our government servants, it is actually saturated. We have excessive government servants, which is actually eating up 70–80% of our state resources. Number one. Number two, on the question of libraries, we have promised to establish national standard libraries in all the district headquarters in our manifesto, and we will do that. Then coming back to her question about the employment for the educated unemployed youth, the party have a vision to identify special economic zones where we can bring investors, where we can bring in the friends from outside to invest in our land and increase the employment scope for the young generation, the educated as well as uneducated people. Now, this situation, how do we do this? The Naga peace process, we all have to give concerted effort to ensure that it is peacefully and honorably resolved so that the other investors are willing to come into our land and ensure peaceful business. Otherwise, if we hang on with our political problem, the Naga political issue, this is one hurdle which is creating a kind of a fear psychosis for our friends, those who are having money to invest in our state. So this is one genuine focus which party have emphasized, and therefore Naga political issue is one main focus of the party, and which is linked with the employment and investment, which I would like to emphasize. Thank you.
Thank you.
To respond to the question regarding where does our money go, I wish our party was in power, so that I would have had the opportunity to right away answer your question. But anyways, jokes apart, regarding what the party intends to do for the huge number of educated unemployed youths, see, there always has to be a starting point. There has to be a program somewhere, and so to speak. So we, in our manifesto, we have vouched for Dimapur being the hub, and Dimapur being the place where there's a concentration of educated unemployed youths. We want to make Dimapur, and this we're talking in terms of business sense and in all of that. So we want to make Dimapur a dry port, and in that, as an extension, set up common facility centers, CFCs, and not only in Dimapur but in all districts, and thereby bring in those related ancillary industries, and that will certainly have a booming effect and answer at least, if not significantly, but at least in a way help the entrepreneurs, thereby by creating an enabling environment for them. So I think in a way, as far as the party is concerned, that is our stand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As much as I'd love to take questions, I know that. But we have run out of time. That is the problem. Okay. If others are standing up for you, please, quickly. No, please. Okay, we will have an opportunity for you all to email questions to us that, listen to me. Okay. Right. Is it okay? Okay. Is it okay for the audience? Hold on. Is it okay for the audience as well as... Is it okay for you all to give us 15 more minutes?
No, we are ready. No problem.
Okay. I cannot refuse the students.
Okay, so first of all, the timekeeper, please allow me 40 seconds to complete my question. Please, a request. Okay, so great person are not those who are great speaker, but great person are those who are great listener. So the more you learn, the more you will learn. So first of all, I would like to ask the question to all the politicians here. So often people say that Nagas are rich, but Nagaland is poor. Why do we say this? We say this because of corruption and greediness is prevailing among the society. The Naga people are suffering like a fragmented fish, and one day Nagaland will soon submerge into the floods of corruption because the government and leaders of today only think about themselves. And it is the 13 times that we're going to hold the election. And we don't need clean election, but what we need is clean candidate. So what I want to ask the politician is that, what can you prove us that you will bring us development? Or what can you prove us that you will go for clean election? So that is my question. Thank you, everyone.
We'll just take it with that.
Hello, everyone. My name is T. Kavika from Tetsa College. So I'm not going to, with due respect to all the representatives, I'm not going to talk about corruption because it's like a norms of Nagaland. So what I want to address is to all the candidates, like representative of different parties. So what is your thought regarding the framework agreement, which is the crucial issues of this Nagaland? What is your thoughts? Or what if your party wins the majority? What will you implement? What are the implements that you will take for that you guarantee for the framework agreement? Thank you.
Okay, is there a similar question? Is your question similar? Because you've been waving your hand for a very long time. Yes, so what I'm going to do, I'll tell all of you. What I'm going to do is all of them have 3 minutes at the end of this program to be able to wrap up their presentations. I want them to take 5 minutes now, answer the questions that have been raised and complete your presentations as well, so that we can go on to, sir, your question. Please give him. So you'll get 5 minutes, quickly respond to the questions that have been raised and then wrap up your presentation.
Okay, last year we had organized the Trade Expo.
So you have not identified yourselves.
I'm Dr. Yan Muri. I'm the Chief Executive of Pinnacle Skills and Pinnacle Creations. We have an industrial unit, a manufacturing unit. And now, since we are in the field, we understand the problem of setting up an industry. And we also did a study. Our industrial policy was drafted in the year 2000. So it is almost 2 decades old. So BJP and NDPP, they are talking about change. Can you promise us that you will change the industrial policy within 6 months of coming to power, if you come to power? I'm not asking NPA, but because they have not done it. Can you change the policy within 6 months so that entrepreneurs can really make use of it?
Right. Please keep the... Oh, I know there are a lot of questions. Okay. Hold on. Okay, thank you. Okay. okay, there are a lot of questions now and they will not be able to wrap up if there are so many questions. So, okay, please let me make a suggestion. We will email questions to them and forward your questions. We will take this conversation forward. I promise you that. We will, I mean, do you all commit to at least sending us 2 lines back? We will make sure they get the answer so that we do not. Yes, you will get the answers back, but okay, not right now. We will. So now they're going to get 5 minutes for the questions that have been raised. I think there are 2 additional questions for. So please try to answer them to the best of your capacity, and please wrap it up then.
Yes. The first one was regarding clean election. I just say straight away, it all depends on the public. Just don't take any money or extra treats from the candidates. You just go for the candidates who will really serve you after he's elected. Then corruption, the trend of corruption will stop. Because we are very much into the clean election campaign, very much, just like the NBCC, very much. But the political system is such that if we don't spend money, we cannot ensure the victory of our candidates, because the system is as such. So where does it start? Like corruption. It starts from the time when your votes are purchased. If the public can desist from, from benefiting themselves financially from the candidates, then this whole train will stop, just like what they are doing in other states. And regarding the Naga this framework agreement, this is, even the state government is not aware of the contents, to be honest. This has been clarified by several ministers. Most of the people are not aware of the framework, framework of agreement. The framework is just a kind of structure where, on the basis of which all the Naga political groups will agree to come together and sign a final agreement. So we cannot elaborate on this, we are not in a capacity to answer this question. It's only between central government and our NNPGs. And the last question is regarding industrialization. Industrialization, as we have mentioned in our manifesto, we are trying to revive all units like Tuli paper mill and other things now, because we feel that this is the way to accommodate the educated unemployed. And then another thing is Act-East policy, and then vocational, increase of vocational trainings too, because most people are educated but without skills. That is the problem which BJP government has discovered in the country. So what we are doing is give them vocational training so that as soon as your education is over, you get employed. And another thing is that avenues for employment. The avenues for employment in the state is very less. So seeking to provide employment to the citizens has to be complemented by this industrialization and commercialization. For that reason, Act-East policy is one of the things. And at the bottom line is to invite foreign investments and investments from outside the state. The political situation, the atmosphere of the state has to be 100% normal. Only then there will be foreign investors and there will be industrializing and commercialization. So if we look at the big picture, it is not just the government, nor the public, nor anything, but overall. So what I would say is, when we cooperate with the larger policies of the government to bring benefits to the people, when there is cooperation, every good things will be like, it will take place. Thank you so much.
Is this answer? We have another run-up of 3 minutes. Okay, this is something. Okay. My friend, about framework agreement, of course, without any offense intended, it is like the sound of a wind. You can hear it, but you can't see it. That is the general predicament of our people. But my BJP friend has given a layout as if he has given a gist of it, that he has seen it also. Anyway, we are hopeful that it will be good for all of us. It will not further divide us. That is our only hope. Second thing is, coming to clean elections, the irony of clean elections in Nagaland is, last year, June 21, when NPCC had a meeting of all political parties, I was the one to represent the INC also. So what happens as of now, the situation is the creamy layer of the society. We are educating our voters in the village not to take money to vote for a particular candidate. But these are the very people, the creamy people who are asking for vehicles, who are asking for son, daughter's placement, backdoor, this door, the subway contract. So our clean election definition is limited to not taking money from the candidate. That is very ironic. I think change has to start from everybody. We are blaming the folks from the rural areas for asking money, for placing the demands. But it is surprisingly the urban folks who are placing the most heaviest demand on the candidates. I think clean election will have to start from top to bottom and bottom to top. Nobody can insulate himself or herself from this. So we are all equally responsible. Thirdly, coming to industrial policy as brought out by one of our participants, it is quite outdated. I have seen it in 2005, Vision 2020 document and all those blah blah. We just have another 2 years to go. Nothing has materialized in Nagaland so far. What is happening is, the problem is we don't have the foresight. Now the government of the day, in the last 15 years, have been talking Article 371A, land acquisition is the biggest hindrance to bringing investors, to bringing development and all. But I'm shocked that Patanjali, Baba Ramdev, has opened, he has laid a foundation stone of so many skills. How come when it is so hard for other investors to have a land acquisition, how come Baba Ramdev and Patanjali have all of a sudden come and something is wrong in the delivery mechanism, as I keep repeating it. So if the government has a will, it can do it. Now what stops, other investors? We are talking about hindrances, but there is no hindrance for Patanjali Trust to open, medical institution or engineering or whatever. So this is a double standard of the government of the day, which I'm exposing to you all. You all are very more than me, I know, but this is what I want to place on record. Thirdly, and finally, industrial policy or whatever policy of the government, we are so short-sighted. Our political leaders, we just leave it to the bureaucrats to draft it. And of course, there are so many able bureaucrats, very intelligent, very foresighted. But at the end of the day, their knowledge is also limited. So we have to draw experts from all fields, have a sort of a think tank in the government to plan out. We just cannot lead. I've seen most of the acts and most of the vision policy document, whatever you call it, are just copy-paste of other states. This is why what is applicable in West Bengal, what is applicable in Maharashtra, industrial states, is not applicable in Nagaland. And that is where we are failing. We have to take the local dynamics in our mind while planning. Otherwise, just copy-pasting and, printing on a good glossy color paper and highlighting, it's not going to go anywhere. And that is our main hindrance. Our policy planners will have to start taking experts from different fields and take the suggestion, pull the ideas, and together we can bring out. We just cannot leave it to some few people at the helm to plan our destiny, our future. So this is my summation. And lastly, today, since every of our panelists have said vote for this thing, vote for my party, I have not avoided till that, basing on the guidelines. But I want to warn you, today in the country, it's not about political ideology. It's about the fight for idea of a nation. The Congress that gave us a seat, the idea that gave India independence, that idea that gave India as a secular, plural democracy is under threat. Today we have a section of a people who wants to impose the agenda that you will believe what I believe, you will eat what I eat, you will wear what I wear, and you will follow what I follow. This cannot happen in a democratic country. Nagas, we have been fighting, struggling for ages because we feel that we have a distinct way of life, we have a unique way of life, but then sadly we are making a beeline to just compromise what our forefathers have sacrificed for us. That reminds me of a quote which says, our lion-hearted generations fought for freedom and they perished and only the ships were left. Today, you and I should not be the ship, but we should be able to at least be the torchbearer of what our forefathers and what our predecessors have left behind a legacy. Otherwise, at the end of the day, we are all going to be sore losers. Please be careful. I am reminding you, this is not a fight between political parties. This is a fight against the idea of the country. New India by 2022 has got a different connotation. I'm telling you, I'm placing on record. The video is here. New India 2022 has got an ulterior motive. And today, if we are not careful, today we have a choice. We have a choice to accept or reject. Tomorrow, we are not going to have a choice, but we are to follow. Thank you.
Mr. Yoga, including the additional question on the industrialization.
Regarding the clean election, I think NDPP party was the first party who marched to discuss with the church organization. We are for it, we are for clean election. I will not go into details again because many of our speakers have said. Coming back to this framework agreement, this is a framework agreement. The NDP party is fully going to be a part of that, and we have also resolved to felicitate, as a felicitator, that between the government of India and the negotiators. Therefore, if we are voted to power, taking the government, the NDPP will seriously pursue the negotiation part. Coming back to the industrial policy, I will assure that if we were voted to power, within the time-bound frame, we will come up with a policy of industry in the industry sector. And lastly, but not the least, NDPP party is regional in spirit and national in its outlook, and we will also work with the global change and the concern for with the rest of the world. And NDPP will provide a decisive leadership, a stable government, and also a vision policy to the Nagaland state. This is what I want to also appeal on behalf of the NDPP, that if people talk too much, delivering of goods is very less. Therefore, with the motto of NDPP, we are not with the words, but we are with the deeds. Therefore, facta non verba, not deeds, but not words. This is what we believe. Therefore, NDPP will deliver goods with an action, not without words. This is what I would like to urge the participants, the audience, to believe in the principle of NDPP and vote for the NDPP party to form the next government. Thank you.
To answer the first question on clean election, it's very encouraging that a lot of work is being done to encourage and create awareness regarding clean election, and to that end, the churches as well as the village councils also having this common platform and coming up with resolutions. So we acknowledge that, and to that end, I want to say this, that we are all stakeholders in this, and see, the feeling is mutual and the business is reciprocal. So as long as we understand that, then I think we can all come to a positive note one day. And as far as industrial policy is concerned, I assure you, if you are voted to power, then definitely we will come up with a concrete, comprehensive industrial policy. Just to touch upon that, see the example of coal and limestone being mined heavily with no regulations whatsoever, and that too being sold off to the neighboring states at a very nominal rate. We're losing out so much. If only we could have an auction site in Nagaland itself, then, and also that would also not only promote revenue generation, but also create employment opportunities, and also at the same time it would ensure that we have ensure optimum utilization of our very limited resources. That is one point. And see, we want to set up medium and small scale industries, because at the core of the industry in Nagaland, as far as Nagaland is concerned, the local cottage industries promoting local handicrafts and including even food products as well. So we want to promote all of that, and this is specifically mentioned in our manifesto. And we want to ensure that the small scale enterprises are being it's already being funded. There are already schemes in place, but there is no implementation. So we want to ensure that there is implementation as far as the funding is concerned. And just to wrap things up, it's been a very encouraging thing for me to be here in this platform. It is only a starting point for all of us to have this kind of platform. It is promoting and encouraging young minds, to take that positive perspective and to create that consensus that is only healthy for society. And my last point is that NPP, coming at this juncture of the political crisis that we are in, is a fresh party. We have no political baggage, like I said earlier. And we are a tribal party with a national outlook. And to that end, even to answer the elephant in the room in regard to the ulterior motives of the other political group. See, the NPP has the potential to mobilize tribals not only in Northeast but across the country and to neutralize all the casteist and religious politics. And to that end, we want you, the young voters, and also the stakeholders of the society gathered together, the esteemed personalities, that please keep in mind the national outlook that we have, the broader version, the broader good that we have in mind, and then work out the details here. Thank you so much.
I'm a candidate for the ensuing election. Actually, when I was informed, I've been told that young people were listening. That's why I actually took out a little bit of my time to talk to the young people today in the midst of my campaign. I think it's quite interesting that so many young friends have participated. I wish if we convert this into votes. My friend, I'll just answer one by one. The other friend whom, the question which he was asking about regulating. We will ensure that quality control work. We will ensure we will regulate the bureaucrats, technocrats. We have been doing that, but more harsher measure will be done. As I have said, there are a lot of linkage here and there, and therefore, trying to check them, trying to, bind them in certain corner. There are lots of leaning here and there, which is finding it difficult in our Naga system. So therefore, I think we all need to understand that. However, the government is committed, the party is committed. Immediate governance reforms measures. We are not talking about 3 months, 2 months. We are immediate. The language itself is clear. Administrative reform cell. Then number 2 is anti-corruption measures. All these things are incorporated. Transparency and accountability. These are all a part of the austerity measures in governance, financial discipline and performance. There are lots you will find in the party manifesto, and all this will be implemented both in letter and spirit. The other friend have said he wanted to direct the question to NDPP and BJP because NBF is not coming back to power, isn't it? I can assure you that we are getting 35 out of 58 candidates. Minimum we are getting 35. We will do that. We will do that. Whenever it is necessary, we will do that. We are getting anyway, I'm assuring you, we are getting not less than 35. As far as the framework agreement is concerned, that's actually that should be the most pertinent question on this discussion, because this is going to determine your future. The Naga political course, the Naga political issue is going to decide your future. This party, the Cox symbol party, which you all love to vote for, is a party that is founded on this issue, which we are talking about, on the framework agreement. It was formed in 1963. In 1964, the first election was held in Nagaland State. 12 of our members won the election. Then they started negotiating between the government of India and the 10 NNC FGN. At that point of time, there was no NSCN. It was known as NNC FGN. So our party worked hard. These 12 MLAs, along with the party workers, party veterans, worked hard to bring the warring groups, the factions, to the negotiating table. A ceasefire was signed in 1964 September, and right after signing the ceasefire between the government of India and the AFGN, 12 of our members resigned in bloc, sacrificing that we have done our job. Now, the negotiating parties in the government of India must settle the Naga issue. The issue went on. In 1998, in 97, another ceasefire was signed between the NSCNIM and the government of India. There was a call from the Naga civil societies that we should refrain from election. And therefore, the Koch party didn't participate in 1998 election. That is how this party has been sacrificing today, out of which you all have voted us back the power. For the past 15 years, we are in power because we have sacrificed a lot for the Nagas, we know. And that is why you still have to vote for it. Now, on the framework agreement, we are happy that it is not now, it was signed between the NSCNIM and the government of India, but the other group, 6 NNBGs have also now joined in the peace process, and political dialogue is going on between our Naga groups, Naga national groups, and the government of India. Any day, any time solution is expected. If there is any new ideas that you would wish to incorporate in the settlement that is in the pipeline, which is coming very soon, I think we need to suggest to our leaders, because our negotiators are extremely capable of representing us. We cannot talk to the government of India directly, they are the one representing us. After signing, we cannot grumble. I think we need to suggest. But what is important is, what is practical now? 10 years ago, the interpretation of sovereignty is different. Today, sovereignty interpretation is different, because none of the nations in Europe are sovereign now. The whole European nation is a sovereign nation. It has become a European Union. And therefore, we have to be practical on the Naga issue and ensure that we must settle the Naga issue immediately, because we are talking about industrialization. I have been emphasizing on that. There is a wrong interpretation on Article 371A also. This also has to be interpreted correctly so that the landowners also understand the issue, their rights, and we also take forward our industrialization policy and some other development prospect. Lastly, on the 3rd of March, you will see the TV result. In the TV Times Now, then you will find Congress this much, NDTP this much, BJP this much. You will only find the word Naga People's Front in the national TV. So ensure that you vote for NPA. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Pardon us for not giving you more time. I know that there's a clear need for having such interaction programs clearly in society, and we will try to set up a mechanism where your voices can be heard and delivered to them. However, we will have to call it an end. However, before that, I would love to call Dr. Nagasamlat Sabir to propose a vote of thanks for this program. She's from the Heritage Publishing House, and after that we will call it an end.
Well, it turned out to be quite a relaxed, interaction, and I'm happy that it was a two-way interaction. And I'm sure that we'll go back more educated, more enlightened, and with a purpose to whom we should vote for, and for which party that we should vote for. Thank you, all the speakers, for being here in spite of all the hectic, campaigning that you have to do for your parties. And by being here, you allow the people to embark on a journey of, making them to understand the policies, because policies matters. And you have allowed them to understand that what are the policies that you are going to, impart or implement in the next 5 years. And thank you for that. It wasn't easy, to have all of you together, and I'm glad that all of you have, accommodated yourself by answering the questions, and I'm sure that you have realized how hungry our people are for information. And I'm sure that when you go back, you all will do your homework better, and I'm sure all of you have realized that they'll keep a check on you, on whatever you have delivered today and whatever you have deliberated today, and I think that will allow you to be more accountable and be more transparent. Thank you, audience, for being so interactive, for the questions, for the constructive criticisms that you have offered to them. And this is how we sharpen one another. And this is very important for the people to progress. And lastly, of course, it's a joint effort of the Heritage Publishing House, the Morung Express, and the NagaRepublic.com. But there was one person who really worked hard, and I really want to give my special appreciation to Ahili, for coordinating the event so well, and especially for bringing the speakers together in one platform. And lastly, I would like to, announce that refreshment is served outside, so please partake that. Thank you once again.